In this video, we will be looking at the Multiple Sclerosis Impact Scale, or the MSIS-29. Quality of life is a multidimensional concept that looks at the positive and negative aspects in your life. Quality of life is important because it can impact your disease symptoms, the execution of your daily tasks, as well as your response to stress. This measure is not intended to replace professional opinion, but can help you track your progress between visits and at home. The MSIS is a really good measure for those with multiple sclerosis because it does look specifically at the symptoms of MS. As you move through the survey, you think about what happened in the last 2 weeks and how your symptoms affected your daily life. There are numbers associated with each column, as you can see below. For example, not at all is associated with 1, a little is associated with 2, moderately is associated with 3, quite a bit is associated with 4, and extremely is associated with 5. You're going to go through the survey and read each question and answer as best as you can how much your symptoms of MS have impacted each task. For example, the first section asks, in the past 2 weeks, how much has your MS limited your ability to? Number 1 asks, how much has your MS limited your ability to do physically demanding tasks? So if you're able to do all of your physically demanding tasks, you would say your MS has not limited your ability at all, and that would be 1. If your MS has limited your ability and you haven't been able to do any physically demanding tasks, you would circle 5. It's important to mark which number you got in each column so that you can calculate the result later. The first 20 questions ask about your physical symptoms, and the last 9 questions ask about mental or psychological symptoms that you have had. To get an accurate result, it's important to remember that you're supposed to be answering these questions for the last 2 weeks and to answer them as honestly and accurately as possible. To show you how to calculate your results, I have already filled out an example MSIS. To get a score for the MSIS, you are going to need to do a little bit of math. To get a percentage for the physical score, the equation is provided here. The first thing you're going to want to do is count up how many of each number you got in the first 20 questions. For example, I did not put not at all for any of the questions, so there would be 0 of the number 1. Then we go on to number 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the first 20 questions. So I would put 9 for number 2. Then you continue doing this for each column. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for number 3. So you would put the 7 by 3. Then you go up and count your 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the first 20 questions. So you would put a 4. And then you go through, and I don't think I put any 5s, so you would put 0 for 5. So then what you're going to want to do is go ahead and multiply all of those out so you can get a number that will contribute to your observed score. So now we can look at the equation that was provided. So the top number is going to be 100 times the observed score, which, as I said, is going to be what all of these numbers added up are. So for my example, I have 18 plus 21 plus 16, which is going to equal 55, and that's going to be my observed score for the physical section. And again, if you're curious where these numbers are coming from, it's going to be the top half of this equation here. So following the rules of math, we'll start with the parentheses. First we'll drop the 100 down, and then we'll do 55 minus 20, which is going to be 35. And then when you multiply those two together, you're going to get 3,500. So 3,500 will be your top number, and then you'll move on to the bottom number from that equation that was provided. 100 minus 20 is going to be 80. So you'll divide 3,500 by 80, and you will get the percentage for your physical score. For the psychological section, again, we're only looking at the last 9 questions. You're going to want to do the same thing and make a little section to count out each of the columns. So you can see here that I only put 2 for number 1, none for number 2, 2 for number 3, 2 for number 4, and 2 for number 5. And again, you're going to go ahead and multiply all of these out. And then adding them all up will get you your observed score for the equation above. And again, we're going to pull from the top. So you're going to have 100 times your observed score, which was 26 for my example, minus 9, because there's 9 questions there. Again, you're going to follow the parentheses first, and then multiply that by 100. And then you're going to look at the bottom number again, which is 45 minus 9, so 36. So you have your top number, and you divide it by the bottom number, and that's going to get you your percentage for your psychological score.